benefits of ultimately, when you receive your inheritance, having it in the form of loans. So not having ownership of those assets, but having use of those assets, but not ownership, against actually having ownership via a basic will directly into your estate. So first things first, if you inherit assets directly into your estate, they form part of your estate. They increase the size of your estate by the value of what that inheritance was. So if you've inherited £200,000 for argument's sake, the value of your estate is increased by £200,000 because those assets now belong to you. Because they also belong to you, they're then attackable to things like generational inheritance tax. So when you pass away, when ultimately there's going to be inheritance tax to pay potentially on the gifts that you actually received via your inheritance because they sit within your estate. You've got potential care fees, losing some of those assets to pay for potential care fees later on. If you go through a divorce, which is a massive one, you're going to potentially lose assets at that point because of the fact you own those assets. Because of the fact you own them, they are fully attackable. So, what are the benefits then of not owning those assets? Well, if you inherit through trusts and those loans are set up so that you actually inherit via a loan so those assets don't form part of your estate, you still have all the benefits of actually as if you actually did actually own them. You can do whatever you want to do with those assets, but the critical thing is that you just don't own them. So, from an estate point of view, we've not increased the value of your estate by the value of that inheritance because it's not been paid into your estate at all. You've just had use of the assets. Also, there's going to be no more inheritance tax to pay on those assets because again, they're not coming into your estate. We're not increasing the value of your estate. We're also not going to lose assets if you should go through a divorce, or if you potentially go into care later on. Those assets are fully protected. You've just got use of those assets to do whatever you want to do with over your life, as it were, but you don't have actual ownership of those assets. So important. So I ask you, which one would you prefer?